Another technique that I have that helps me manifest is what I call the now. And Neville Goddard does speak on this, as well as Joseph Murphy. And the now is where your past no longer exists because it's the past, right? Your future doesn't exist because it ain't here yet, right? So the now is the present moment that you are in now. Like you watching me, you're in the now. You're in the present moment, right? I have had great success manifesting certain things by staying in the now. So I try to limit my thoughts of my past completely and not think about the past and my old hang-ups and things that would keep me in the negative and screw with my mental health or me being successful at manifestation or anything like that. So I would put myself in the state of the now and stay there. In my now, I would just remind myself that I already have whatever it is that I was trying to manifest. And I would stay like that day after day after day. And it's very hard to do at first. So, because our human mind wants to fight it. So, if you get thrown for a loop or something bad happens and it triggers you in the 3D, or if you get out of the now state, just put yourself right back in. You don't have to start over from square one. Just acknowledge it. Okay. Screw that. That ain't going to affect me. I'm going back into the now. And you can have really good success with this, or, maybe it's not your method. A really good best friend that I had a few years back, actually used this to manifest a man into her life who was wealthy. So what she did is she went into the now and used this manifestation that I'm discussing now, that I'm going to tell you more about. So she always had bad luck with guys. They always just wanted to party or hook up or do this or do that. So what she ended up doing was, she's like, I would like to have me an older man who is financially secure, wealthy even better, but financially secure, with no children, and has his life together and is looking for somebody real and somebody serious, right? And we were all like looking at her like, for us that don't actively manifest like serious love, I'm probably honestly now the only one in my group left that hasn't. I'm just being real here, but I haven't really tried, guys. That's the thing. It's not because I'm manifesting it happening. I just haven't. So anyway, what she ended up doing is she lived in the now. Like she did the talk in Neville Goddard talked about one of his success stories where she would put a ring on her finger as like she was already married, even though she wasn't, right? And that's the same thing my friend did. My friend actually would wear a ring every day. And I remember she'd be out working and stuff, and she'd have this ring on, and she'd go to sleep with this ring. And basically, she just lived in a state of the now, that like it was already there, like it was already happened. She's already married, right? So how we knew eventually her being in the state got into the subconscious and it was going to manifest, because there was a sign, was one day we were driving down the road, and I think I was in her car because she was driving, and she had her ring finger out the window like this, and she goes, holy shit, my ring, like out of nowhere. And I'm sitting in the passenger seat like, say what? Like my mouth about dropped. She's like, holy shit, my ring fell off. She was so into that ring being on her finger that she was married, that she was totally unaware that her subconscious, it had got into her subconscious so much that it was actually manifesting. That she really believed that she had a ring on her finger, even though she didn't have it on that day, and that she was married, and she thought she lost it, like it went out the window. She's like, I don't know if that was a sign or what. And I'm like, let's pay no attention to it. Let's keep going. So about a week or two later, this man messages her online out of nowhere. He sends her this message. They get to talking. Soon they're FaceTiming. They're talking. And they're just hitting it off. And it turns out he's an older guy. I think he's like 10 years older than her, maybe a little under 15 years. He's somewhere in there. Okay, he's an older guy. And he is well off, like way well off. Not just financially stable and has a little bit of money in the bank. No, he is rich. This guy is rich. And I'm thinking, this is crazy. I'm watching all this unfold, and she's loving it. You know, she's like in it, you know. It was so cute because he would DoorDash her food, and he would DoorDash himself the same food, and they would be on FaceTime at night having dinner. That's how crazy this was. Like, he was sending her flowers and gifts. It was actually pretty awesome to watch this unfold, because I've never had that in my love life ever. So watching it happen, and that knowing that she is manifesting this and watching the unfolding, guys, was this like mind blowing. You have to excuse the noise in the background. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, we were feeding the dogs. So she literally was just having this hell of a time. And the calls became more. The text messaging was all the time. He bought her a new iPhone. He sent it to her. And it was like, it was crazy. It was fucking crazy. Like, I'm not joking. And this manifestation was really, really, I don't even know how to describe it, guys. Like, nothing like I have ever experienced or seen before. Because she knew what she wanted. She lived in a now. That's how she manifested this. She didn't think about her divorce in the past. She didn't think about the guys in the past. He only wanted to party and hook up, and who were too immature. Even at age 40, they still want to get the fuck over it. And being a grown-ass men, same goes for women. I'm not dogging any gender, but yeah. She knew what she wanted. He had to have money. He had to be older. He had to be childless. I said this before. So from the now, when she started living in the now, from the time he manifested, I would say within a month. It took about a month, I would say, if I had to remember. I could be wrong. It might have been sooner than that. But when he came in like a bat out of hell, like a freight train. Choo-choo. You know, he was just right there. Immediately, she was attracted to him. Immediately, they were on FaceTime. Immediately, they were, you know, the first time that he came and got her and they met face to face, she stayed the weekend with him. They went out to dinner. She met his parents. And a few months later, they're engaged. I was like, is this guy too good to be true? Like, look, I'm still speechless now. Maybe this guy is like, this is too good to be true. Like, where's the hang up? And I realized there is no hang up. And no, it's not too good to be true. That's my own limited beliefs. I realized that, you know, there's no such thing, you know. It is if you make it a thing. But just because I needed to be happy for her. Like, don't think this guy is up to something and this is too good to be true. Because it really was the real deal. But as a friend and a person, not going through it myself, but just watching it unfold in front of my eyes was one of the most amazing things I have ever seen. Ever. And I remember I told my aunt about it because me and my aunt are really close. And I remember telling my aunt about it because she's like, what happened to your friend? I won't say her name on here for privacy, but I told her. She's like, what? And I was like, yeah, this is what happened to her. Like, you would not believe this, Aunt Deb. Like, I'm telling her, Aunt Deb's actually here, guys. Like, you would not believe it. Like, I'll have to explain it all to you because I watched it unfold. And guys, it was crazy. It was the most amazing, beautiful fucking thing I've ever seen. And I'm not into that mushy love shit, right? Okay, it was so awesome. It gave me hope. And I've been not wanting a relationship for years, but then after that happened, I was like, well, shit. Oh, well. My person's out here too. You know, he has to love quantum physics as much as I do and stuff. That's a given. But, I mean, it's real. It happens. And I knew years ago I manifested, not really knowing I manifested him, but I manifested my last relationship I had years ago because of how that unfolded. Maybe eventually I'll tell that story on the channel too, of how I did that. I ended up breaking it off with him, which is okay. But yeah. But I want to tell you guys that this is why you don't meddle. You don't get in your own way. You don't think about the how, when, or anything, all right? Because it will use people to get the job done. It even used me. Like the first time they started talking, if it wasn't for me and her being with me and us out and about when he buzzed her, and I told her, I said, she showed me a picture. She goes, I don't know. I said, you should message him back. Maybe he's a nice guy. That's how it all started. I don't know where the fuck that came from. I was used for her reality, right? For her I amness. I was a tool, nothing more than a tool used in her reality, just like in my reality, she would have been used for mine if that would have been me, right? So she started talking to him, and it just escalated. Eventually, she left the state, moved to his state, and was with him. Still is to this day. So I'm telling you, get out of your own way. It happens. It is fucking crazy. Especially if can you imagine when it does happen for you, or if it already has and you're watching this and you have manifested your specific person or your love life, how crazy it was when you look back on it, like, wow, what a trip, man. That was wild. Like, how crazy was that, right? So think about being the person looking from the outside in and watching it unfold in your very eyes. Like, to this day was one of the most wild things I've ever seen. I would love to see that again. I've been manifesting love for a few other people in my life. I actually caused a breakup. I had these friends that were in a really unhealthy, abusive relationship, so I manifested through SATs their breakup, and I put her with a guy that treats her good. There's no free will in my reality, so I can do what I want. But I did do that, and I'll tell that story sometime, eventually, too. But, you know, she lived in her now. She didn't focus on the divorce of her past, all that drama, her bad childhood. She let it all go. She didn't even bring up her past. She didn't bring up her ex, nothing. She programmed her mind to stay in the here and the now. And she was like me. When I think of the future, it's black. I don't see anything. I know some people can look into the future and see like, oh, I'll be married and happy and all this shit. I can't. It's blank. So was hers. We can see our past if we look back on our past that no longer exists. But when it comes to the future, neither one of us could see our future because it was just blank. Like it doesn't exist. It's blank. So, but some people can see a future when they look, just like when they look in the past, they can see the past events. Some people can look into the future and see where they will probably be in their future events and imagine a scene with that. I can't do that. Neither could she. Okay. So I don't know how common or uncommon that is. I really don't care, but that is a thing. So she would live in a now. Of course, the ex would trigger her, or the ex-husband, or the past would show up, and then she'd just immediately be like, no, get out of my mind, out of my mind. Like, we'd be driving down the road, and she'd be like, out of my mind, out of my mind. Like a crazy person. But it's okay, because she was trying to stay in the now. And I even had to catch myself around her. Like, I was the only person there was our friend Zach Tisha knew. Our gay friend. He knew about it. But other than us two, nobody knew what she was doing. And she didn't want all that resistance or negativity brought her way, which I totally understand. Because when I introduced her to the now, how to manifest in a now, she took it very literally. And it worked for her. But it was to stay in that present of now, the presence of now. And it's really hard to do, guys. Like, I manifested things doing it and was successful, and other things I did not, using that method, my own self-made now method, because I wasn't able to stay in the now. I get triggered and cuss out the person in front of me that cut me off driving, or I just had a really bad day. I'm going off on everything. I spiraled bad, and I was out of the now, and excuse me, I had a hell of a time getting back into the now, okay? So I had to pick up where I left off like days later, or just go into Sats to get it done, because I get it done in Sats. If I can't get it done in the now, rest assured, if I don't go all 5 senses in serious meditation mode of feeling it real before I go to sleep, with Sats, I can also just repeat over and over whatever it is I want and just fall asleep, and eventually it will materialize out here. Not as quick as if I used all my senses and felt it as real in a scene with Sats and then fell asleep, but it would manifest a lot quicker that way. But if I just say things out loud or in my mind as I'm drifting off, it will still manifest. It just takes longer. That's for me, though. That's just how it is. And that's another good technique. If you can't really envision in your imagination, so Sats is a little complicated for you, you can actually, like, repeat, like, say, every night as you're going to sleep in that groggy state, and keep saying it to yourself as you're going to sleep. Say you need, like, your rent paid. So say you need $1,000. Be like, I need $1,000. Start with that, because you want to be believable, right? And don't say, no, you shouldn't say that. No, listen and hear me out. Because you don't want your brain to be like, you do need $1,000, right? So start with that one thought as you're starting to do this. I need $1,000. Flip the script immediately then and be like, okay, I have $1,000. My bill is paid. I have $1,000. My bill is paid. I have $1,000. My bill is paid. And then keep saying it, 15, 20 minutes before you go to sleep. And then drift off and do this every night. And I'll be damned, you'll have $1,000. It works. So anyway, that is the story of how my friend manifested her older rich dude. And, yeah, so there you go. But you could try that method and see if it works for you. I don't know about doing it for a specific person. I guess so. I mean, they're all the same no matter what. You just, when your energy aligns with the thing that you want, it happens pretty instantly. So it's just pretty much how you want to do it. But I got to watch that unfolding. It was really cool. So, see you guys later.